The food you choose either be the safest form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. When you choose to eat foods with a lot of mindfulness, it will create a lot of space for you to live longer and healthier, happier.
There is new religion in market and vegan.
The topmost bodybuilders across the globe nowadays are all vegans. They have to lift up those weights to win the fights and contests. They can thrive on vegan plant protein. Why not us?
What is plant food?
Plant protein is purely derived from plants. It is also going to use pea protein.
A lot of women are facing right now is PCOS.
It is now becoming more of a lifestyle disorder created by lifestyle habits, which is the key. And we have seen girls completely getting rid of PCOS with the diet and lifestyle modifications.
It's possible. Completely get rid of it.
Yes.
Number 1 Manifestation and Lifestyle Podcast.
Kabir Wani.
Amazing people like Kabir Wani. Welcome to Kabir Wani. Today we have with us someone that's spoken about food. Now food is love for all of us, especially Indians, and especially during the time of celebrations. We have all those vada pav, pani puri, then we have dabeli. I know muh mein pani aa raha hai, right? Well, what if I told you I have with us today who is a nutritionist and she has told us what to eat, not to eat, how to eat, where to eat, how much to eat. I know it sounds so much when it comes to having food because you just want to hog on it because it makes your soul feel better, not just your body but your soul. But you have to be very careful when it comes to having what kind of food, how much food, what you're eating, how much you're eating. It's very important. So the factor is, it sometimes doesn't matter what you eat. You can enjoy that vada pav as well. But the thing is, how much are you having it and when are you having it? It's also a very important factor. Are you consistently just having fruits or are you stuck onto the raw vegetables? Do you believe in having a protein? Why don't you stick with us? Today we have with us Ujjwala Bakshi, who is a nutritionist and going to share a lot of insights. It's a wonderful podcast. I truly enjoyed it. I've got lots and lots of information out of it. And I wanted to pass this on to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. Make sure, it's a strict mark right here, that you have to watch this with your family. And that you have to make sure that you follow a good lifestyle so that you can live happier, longer, and healthier, which is the most important part. I'll see you at the end. Now I'm going to get you to a very controversial topic. There is new religion in market. It's vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and vegan. I know that you're vegan. Okay. So tell me the difference between the three. And how does that affect one's lifestyle?
See, it affects, it's a lifestyle. Okay. When you want to choose a path, like I chose veganism for some reason, and I knew it's a total roller coaster ride in the beginning. Of course, for somebody who loves pizzas, and of course the healthiest of the pizzas were made at home, everything, but still eventually the cheese has to be compromised. Okay, even if I'm not going for processed cheese, eventually it's cheese out of my diet. So it's a conscious choice. One needs to take it in a very intellectual way, that what are they going to support? Are they just wanting to match the numbers of calories, proteins, carbs, because nowadays people are looking at food only through that angle, through that lens, and I totally deny that fact. You have to look at food as a complete energizer, as a soul food. It's mentioned as soul food, right?
Yes.
Now imagine somebody's soul being hurt in the process of getting it on the plate for us. How can it be a soul food, right? So if we are looking at a chicken who's already seen the other chicken being tortured earlier, killed, it's already frightened, and it knows that it will also go through that banter. So that hormones have already started, fight and flight response is already started in that animal. Okay, it's not just chicken, other animals, right?
No, I mean, yeah.
So everybody has gone through that process mentally. They have seen those hormones, rolling up. They're sweating and everything. Then mujhe nahi marna hai. And then they are cut. So again, there is another set of hormones that are released, and we are bringing that on a plate. So are we using it just to build on the proteins, you can use it. Okay, but if you're really wanting to balance your hormones, balance your thought process, when you want to work on your body as a mind body sync, and you're just not looking at body physical appearance, you want to balance your thought process, you will see it brings a lot of harmony within yourself.
Correct.
When you choose to eat foods with a lot of mindfulness, that I am going to support my health system, not by hurting somebody else's health, then it starts to nurture you. And you will see that it will create a lot of space for you to live longer and healthier, happier. Your mental space is naturally very high
And clear.
Yes.
Yeah, I think also add one more thing when you said mind, body, sync. I would say mind, body, and soul sync.
Soul, yes.
Right? Because somehow, some way, so when you said that when the chicken is being cut, the other hormones are also a part of fear, right? Because they know up to they, and then. So I'll tell you a story about me. I come from a very heavy non-vegetarian background. My whole family is a non-vegetarian. I think I'm probably one of those who have changed to vegetarian. But I changed my religion from non-vegetarian to vegetarian.
Yes.
So I'll tell you the reason that happened. Okay, so before when I was in States, वहाँ पर कैसे होता है? You just go, you buy the chicken breast, come home, cook, and that's it. Because it's already prepared for you. Here, when I came to India, of course, the only way you can buy a chicken, of course, you can go to Big Bazaar and all those places, but I wasn't sure about that at that point of time, and they're again too far to travel. So I went one of the boilers there, and where I said, okay, give me chicken. My thought process was he's gonna go in the background, and he's gonna open up a fridge,
and remove it,
and give it to me. Here, what happened is that he picks up a chicken, weighs it, and I'm like, okay, I'm just thinking, like,
what's
fine.
happening?
I'm still in a thought process right now. What's happening? And then the chicken is squawking, right? And it's like I can feel. I'm a very highly intuitive person, so I could feel that okay, it's not working. It's actually fear. It's a fear screaming. It's a scream that it's there, and then it picks it up, keeps it, and the whole time he's doing that, I'm thinking, I hope this is not for me, right? I'm just thinking that he must be doing some process before he goes out and brings me a chicken. It's real stupid of me, but I did that. Takes a thing and he cuts the head off, and I'm like, what the hell just happened, right? He throws that chicken into the drum, and then there it's completely like shaking out of the fear, pain, whatever it might be going through at that point of time. Then I'm just, because at that point of time I'm in shock, right? I don't know how to respond, what to do, and there I'm just standing. Takes it out because it's dead. Starts cutting it off, and now there's a nice slice of chicken breast coming out, and then he's packing it and giving it to me, and I'm like. I mean, I took it, but then I don't think I had that chicken at that moment. And that was the last time that.
Shocked. You were shocked.
I was really shocked. And then I realized that, okay, although it's okay for you to have, other animals, which is sad now, but when I saw the grief, the fear, the hurt that animal went through, just so that I could have had a meal where I could have just had something else at that point of time, is what made me turn into a vegetarian, and I've completely stopped. Unfortunately, my wife gets all the blame for it. That because I've got married to a Hindu girl, I've changed myself into a vegetarian, which is completely not true. And this is my experience that I shared here with you, and I share with everyone who asks me why you have converted from being a non-vegetarian to vegetarian, and this is the reason. One person, in fact, argued with me that even plants have breaths, even they are living beings.
Achha.
So at a point of time, I started researching, and I realized that when you cut a plant, it has a power to grow again. It's not something that they feel. They don't scream. They don't do any of those things. It's just a fact of life, how it's made.
Yes.
But here's my reason of becoming a vegetarian. My question to you comes at this point of time: when you are a non-vegetarian and you're a gymmer, they say, no, you have to have chicken breast. Without chicken, there is no protein. You're lacking yourself of protein. Is that true?
See, if you go to see, the topmost bodybuilders across the globe nowadays are all vegans. They're all vegan. And they are very proudly putting it out in the market that we as vegans, if we can derive our protein requirement, and they are like, say, they have, I think, 3 times the muscles that we have.
I think John Abraham is vegan, right?
John Abraham is vegan.
Is he vegan or is he vegetarian?
He is more towards vegetarian.
He's more towards vegetarian.
Yeah, but then there are people who have made it very clear, proven it, that they are bodybuilders. You know, they have to lift up those weights to win the fights and the contests. And if they can thrive on vegan plant protein, why not us? You know, people always question that do we have to consume whey protein to build up? So gymmers, they are the ones who are always questioning. And fortunately, the knowledge about protein is so high in India especially, and it's good. But at the same time, you will also find a lot of protein powders in everybody's houses nowadays.
Correct.
Like, it's a very general question. Which protein to buy? It's not anymore, do I need to buy a protein powder? It's like, which one to buy? And which one is always whey protein? And people are ready to shell out 3,000, 4,000, 5,000.
5,000. I think
Yeah.
3,000, 4,000, I think you're saying very
Per
less
person.
Now. I think it's
Per
a lot
person.
now.
Yes, it's 6,000 for a 500 grams box.
Per box, yeah.
And that is for one person consumption.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And people are spending almost 20,000-30,000 a month just for
Protein
that.
powders. Yes, I was working with a fitness trainer. He had set a budget of 30,000 just for him,
Wow.
for his
Monthly
protein.
just for protein.
Yes, because he was into kickboxing.
Oh, wow.
And he used to just load himself in front of me. He would be like dunking caffeine cans, dunking protein powders. And I'm like,
The
dude, eat
creatines and all
food,
you're
yeah.
talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat food. So what happens with protein powder is the same thing that you asked for the chicken. Even the animal, the cows, the buffaloes out there, they are tortured. You know, earlier, a family of 5 or 6 had their own cows, and the excess milk was consumed by the family. You know, it was milked out, consumed. Nowadays, the demand is so huge about dairy. We are consuming 3 times more the cheese. Nowadays, as per stats, one person is consuming 500 ml per day of dairy, which was not the case earlier. आधा लीटर दूध कोई नहीं पी रहा था पहले. अब हम सिर्फ आधा लीटर दूध पी रहे हैं, उसके अलावा पनीर, चीज खा रहे हैं. You know, you consume 3 cups or 4 cups of teas per day, coffees per day. You've matched. You consume. So people are hooked on to their Starbucks coffee. Oh, I can't do without it. So 400 ml तो आपने वही dunk in कर लिया है, right? So when we are so huge on dairy, the demand is gone high. The animals are tortured. Again, the udders of the cows and the buffaloes, they have been forced. You know, just imagine, the skin is going through so much of pain. They have been injected with hormones. And now what happens is, when that is consumed by us, we land up into health issues. The fitness trainers are going through a lot of gut health issues. There have been about 10 to 15 fitness trainers who come to me for their diet plans after they've disrupted their health. You know, of course, they are taking a lot of other stuff. They are taking creatine to bulk up their muscles and all that. But eventually, they are also constantly on protein powders. They're constantly on protein only, and most of them hardly eat fiber. Because पसंद नहीं है या फिर time नहीं है खाने के लिए, तो they're drinking protein powders and they're ruining their gut health.
Okay. And then protein can really work with your gut health in a bad way.
Yes. Excess is going to hurt.
Does your body also create protein by its own self, like without having anything from
Our
outside?
body has protein, like the muscles have protein.
Okay.
And excess protein in the diet is going to be stored in the liver as fats.
Okay.
So somebody who does a lot of protein in their diet and like overdoing, like how you were asking for water. So excess protein is not going to be, of course, the metabolites are going to be thrown out, in the sense the byproducts of protein metabolism. They are going to be thrown out. But too much of protein will be stored in liver, and person will suffer with fatty liver.
So that's the non-alcoholic fatty liver comes in.
Yes. And again, the people are confused these days that, oh, I am so fit. I'm eating the healthiest of foods. I'm eating so controlled diet. And why this fatty liver has come in? Maybe you're overdoing on protein.
Okay. You know, a lot of times when you go to a nutritionist, right, you're the one of the very few who are saying that protein is not important, right? That's, there are a lot of people saying protein to khana hi hai.
Protein is important.
Nee, I'm not talking about protein. I'm talking about protein powder, the whey protein. I'm talking about like, so we'll talk about like a lot of people are into M-Way and other, I think Herbalife does the same thing. I'm not sure. But they're very much on it कि नहीं, protein powder तो खाना ही है, So they'll make you a plan where there's two scoops or one scoop of protein in the morning, and in the afternoon you take it with your buttermilk or whatever you take it with. But you have to have it because your body requires that much no matter what. What is your say on that?
See, first and foremost, as healthcare professionals, and because we have chosen this profession, it is our responsibility to spread the right information. So if the person is coming to us for help, we as professionals, we have to make sure that we consume proteins primarily from the diet. It is essential because the protein will be a carrier. If eaten in perfect amounts, it will be a carrier for a lot of nutrients. So if somebody is lacking protein and popping up a lot of multivitamins, it's not going to get absorbed. Hence, we need the protein. And like I had shared earlier, we need proteins for muscle building. So if you're just eating proteins, it's not going to help us anyways. Now, the whole idea of consuming protein powders, for that matter, comes into play only if the person is not able to consume protein through the diet. Then we have to look for solutions, because of, again, the diet without protein doesn't make sense.
Correct.
Then the protein powder will be advised and should be advised with good research done on which kind of protein powder. Just don't read the front label.
Okay, and go for it.
Go for it.
And also the fact that if the person needs it or not.
Needs it or not. Yeah, like if suppose somebody is not able to match, a person who is 50 kgs, not able to consume even 40 grams of protein a day, then protein powder may be needed, because they're traveling constantly. Many people don't like the protein stuff only. They don't like dals, and plus they are vegetarians. So they go big on whey protein. Now, we need to understand that whey protein is a concentrated form of hormones. Like the milk, it's made out of milk. So the animal is injected, the hormones, it's a box of hormones. When people overdo it, they will not be able to lose weight. Whey protein will not help you to lose weight. It will only help you to increase the protein count, but it cannot help you to lose weight.
Is that why many times what happens is that if a person starts working out very heavily, so they're having whey protein, but they're working out, so then they're balanced.
They're balanced.
They're looking very puffed.
And they will always complain that, you know what, I am working out, I am consuming this whey protein, I'm matching my protein intake, still I'm not losing weight.
And then, many people are losing weight, they're bulking up, they're getting muscles. But I've noticed when they stop, all of the sudden, they start like looking fat. Like I'm talking about like not only the tummy wise, I'm talking about like
the body shape
the
changes.
Body shape changes into a goal, round shape completely. Like, is that one of the backfires of it?
Of course, because if you are working out plus matching your good protein intake, you're bulking up your muscles, you're reducing body fat percentage. Now, when you're not giving that kind of a regime to your system, again, body composition is going to shift and the person is going to look flabby and, completely disoriented to what he was earlier.
I've noticed that many times. In fact, I'm talking about when in a younger age, I'm still young. I'm talking about when I was even more younger, my 20s and all. So, I remember that when I was having the protein powder. So I was like, bulking up really quickly. My muscle mass was gaining up. But as and when I started growing and I started reaching my 30s and the early 30s, I realized that, I had stopped taking protein. But I started noticing my tummy has started coming out. My face has started, kind of
heavier
and more. And it felt like, what's going on? That's when I decided, okay, now I don't think the protein is working for me at this point of time. And hence I had to stop. Once I stopped when I reached my early 30s, right, and I realized that I don't think I want to do protein anymore, I had gained weight. And I had gained weight which didn't make sense to me because I wasn't eating a lot. But then I was told that it was because you stopped protein now all of a sudden and your body is now generating that protein because you have given it so much. How can you make sure that the fat that I have got with that protein, how can I change that part and get my body back to its normal self?
So what must have changed is your body composition. Along with weight that was showing lesser in numbers on the scale, your body fat percentage also went down when you were doing all this, like working out and the protein powder. When you stopped the protein powder, what happened is definitely the protein per se is a thermogenic food. Thermogenic means what? It boosts up metabolism. So fiber and proteins are the two categories which help to boost metabolism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So your metabolism slacked down because you were not eating that much protein that you were eating earlier. Hence, you started gaining weight. So when you want to do this without the help of protein powder, then you should get started with something like natural foods which are big on the protein. So try to drink more of dals, beans, chicken, fish in case you're a non-vegetarian. Or else you can simply choose a better alternative to this protein powder, that is sattu.
Okay.
Okay, sattu is nothing but chana flour, not besan.
Okay.
Now, it's a very layman's way that I've explained it. The true and original sattu is coming from Bihar, and there is a proper technique to make it.
Okay.
How is it? The chana is being soaked, dried, allowed to germinate a little bit, and then powdered. That's why it is very light on the stomach. It's the to-go food during summers in chas, in buttermilk. But now in metropolitan cities, when we want to make a quick recipe out of it, people are grinding just the roasted grams and making sattu. It's still a better option than the whey protein and all that.
Okay.
But advisable is to look for authentic sattu.
Okay.
Okay, because it has gone through all this, the
Process
germination,
and
and
all
yeah,
that.
because then that protein is very light on our stomach.
Okay.
You won't feel gassy, bloated.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And
because
this can be a good alternative for whey protein.
whey protein, yes, because the only thing that you have to understand is proteins have the capacity to build up a lot of gas in the body systems. Something which is kept. So, for example, you have cooked 1 katori of dal for dinner in the lunch because it cut shorts the time.
Okay.
But that 1 katori of dal has already undergone a putrefaction, that is a chemical reaction, which will produce gas and it will cause bloating in your system.
Okay.
So hence you try to fix it with sattu, which is a drier version,
Okay.
and it doesn't go through all this.
Mm.
Alternatively, you can go big on soy milk, almond milk. Those are the choices. Nuts, you can prefer those in order to increase your protein content.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your take on the protein bars that you get in the market nowadays?
You have to look into the nutrition profile. There are protein bars laden with sugar. There are protein bars which are very clean but hardly tasty. So yes, go for something which is well read in terms of labels and something which is edible.
Of course, naturally, yeah, you don't want to screw up your taste
Taste buds. Yeah, you would be like, I'm spending so much and still I'm like, what am I eating?
What are you eating? You're not enjoying that. Can a protein bar be made out of dates?
Yes, you can make protein bars out of dates. Put in a lot of this chana, okay,
Maybe
the
like
roasted
any
grams.
recipe that you can utilize.
Yes, so you can have dates. Keep it to the threshold that. So it totally depends on how much for how many members. What is a
Just let's say
amount.
for one person, if you're making
For
a
one
protein
person,
bar.
you will just need about say 1 to 2 dates max. In there, you put handful of roasted grams. Okay, you can either powder it or you can just crush it, and then you can add some nuts to it, some khaskhas. Okay, because it adds a good texture, and put in the seeds that you want. Put a little ghee in a kadhai, in a small wok, and just roast all of this together.
Okay.
So the dates tend to become softer and easier to, they're malleable, mold around. And then cut it together. Once they are roasted well, bring it on a plate, mix it all together and cut it and shape the way you want
And then you
it.
can have that as a
Yes,
protein
yes,
bar.
yes. You can add chocolates to it, choco chips, whatever you want,
Okay,
like
you
flavor
can go
it.
crazy with that
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Very nice. And that's completely healthy. And
Very healthy.
what is your thought process in terms of peanut butter?
Peanut butter is a good choice again to bring up your protein intake. At the same time, we have to also understand peanut butter is not alkalizing, it is acidic in nature. Peanuts per se are acidic in nature, and peanuts are known to contain aflatoxins. That means there is some kind of a toxication that can happen if one were to consume a lot of peanuts. So it disrupts your gut health.
Okay.
So people are, they do have this habit of consuming a lot of peanuts. Like they will sit up, they know that okay, they want to increase their protein and they don't want to eat anything junk, so they will consume a box full of peanuts and they will not come to know when they finished it off.
Correct.
So again, a handful.
Handful.
Eventually they are nuts. Handful. They have a lot of oil. Okay, and if you really very fond of peanuts, many people consume it with chaknas, as chaknas. Then again, mix it with roasted grams, not just the peanuts.
Okay.
make a mixed trail.
Mixed trail and have it with it. So
Hmm.
that's okay too. And peanut butter is a good choice as well. But
Peanut
not
butter is
too
a good
much.
oil.
Just
Huh, but
thought that
yeah,
peanut butter and bread can be a good breakfast to a lot of people.
peanut
decide.
butter, yes, not the bread.
Not so you just have to have like a scoop of peanut butter.
Yeah, or apply it on an apple slice.
Oh, okay. No, never
Turns
thought
out to be
about that.
fantastic. Just a little cinnamon powder, apple slice,
Ah.
peanut butter.
Really? Does that taste
Tastiest of
good?
the yeah, very good.
Wow, never tried that. I'll
The
try that.
Westerners do it. Indians don't have that kind of recipe.
I've never.
No, we
so
have
I
to.
really enjoy peanut butter myself. So
Okay.
just for the peanut butter, we have figured out how to find the no maida bread and go for the
Acha,
whole wheat
okay.
bread. We have found that, and then
There are some very good peanut butters in the market.
Mm.
Other butters like almond butter in the market, which
I've
are
not
very
tried
clean,
almond butter.
very clean.
Mm.
And you can apply them on your banana slices. So it's a very good snack.
Okay,
You can use it as a dip. So yes.
very nice. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy peanut butter, so that's why I thought I would add.
So try to remove the grain
Okay.
from there, like your bread, and try to use apple slices, bananas, pears with this
Okay.
peanut butter.
With fruit, peanut butter with fruits.
Fruits, yes.
Very nice, something unique. I'll definitely give that a try. I want to know at this point of time that we spoke about how I feel that a lot of conversation today was more of veganism. I like the name veganism. It's like it sounds like a religion, no?
Yes.
So let me ask you this question. I do a lot of work when it comes to spirituality, manifestation, meditation. I think that's another reason that I felt comfortable letting go of eating non-vegetarian food is because I felt when I did that, I got connected spiritually more. My intuitions were more powerful. My thought process were more cleaner. My meditation started becoming more powerful. I was able to concentrate more at that point of time. How do you think your food, because of course it's soul food, right? And when it comes to spirituality or manifesting, let's talk about spirituality. Manifestation के लिए मेरे पास एक और सवाल है. So we'll talk about spirituality. How can they both be combined together? And do you think they have the direct relationship to them?
So yes, veganism helps you to move towards spirituality very naturally. In fact, for me, I think it went other way around because I was doing a lot of meditations and all that. So my intuitions became very strong. And all of a sudden, how I turned into vegan is also a very interesting thing, like interesting story. Like 2 years back, I had been a vegan in Singapore about 10 years back also. I dropped it off because I was visiting someone in US and they said, you keep your veganism away. Don't bring it to US because it is going to be very difficult for me to host you. Because everybody has to do their own stuff in US. We don't have helpers out there.
Yes, correct.
So it dropped off. Still, I hung on to sometimes some kind of an alternative milk. But then this 2 years back, I was very spiritual. And all of a sudden, in winters, I was in Sikkim. We went for a holiday. I was at the peak of a mountain, with a snowy mountain. And very unlikely someone would want to drop out of teas and milk at that point because you're literally shivering. And there was this Hanuman temple that I was just visiting at that point. And the minute I come down, there is a tea stall by the army, and it was free tea. So everybody was like, "Arey, le last cup hai." And I was very fond of teas. So I had that tea, and there was some voice that came from within that this is your last cup of tea. Stop at this.
Really? Okay.
And I was also wondering ये क्या है, but हुआ क्या था 2 दिन पहले मैंने एक documentary देखी थी on this whole how milk is being done in this industry today. Yeah. And it started lingering over my head. And I realized that, okay, this is the time. It was very difficult on a travel to drop it. But I think that was a decision that I made. It helped me to move to the spirituality because it helps to calm you down a lot.
So the
There are-
additional hormones are not being part of your body.
Yes, maybe.
Fear
because
is not there.
Fear is not there. There are a lot of things that have changed. The energy levels have gone up. The harmony has increased. Patience has increased. Generally, if I were to see, if we even look at it just not from the spirituality angle, if I were to work out with the set of people who are vegetarians, non-vegetarians, I think I have the maximum energy.
Okay.
That has been very visible.
Energy and patience would be there as well.
Could be. And it's very visible. The trainers also know that. They would like to interact more. So I think it works on you as a person in totality. It's not just food,
Mhm.
because then you're just using foods which are treating your soul.
Correct.
And with veganism, I started again more of I cut off all the tamasic food.
Okay.
What is tamasic food? Rajasic food, which is onion, garlic,
Mhm.
which the Hindus follow, right?
Mhm. I think
When
Jainism especially.
even Jains follow. I am a
think that's
Jain.
like,
But I was never like, I used to consume onion, garlic,
Hmm.
but now I don't feel like, okay, onion wala poha hai, so once in a while I'll have
Yeah,
it, but it's not, it's coming in the kitchen now.
Kitchen, huh.
Because I have seen that the kind of effect it used to have on my mental thought process has also gone down,
Okay.
has made me much calmer.
But I've noticed that having food with no onion or garlic doesn't really make much difference. Like, a really good friend of mine is Jain, and that's where I had first come across the fact and the thought process of no onion and no garlic. So I'll tell you, a really good friend of mine is Jain. One of the first friends I made in India when I came back. So I told my mother that, oh, I'm going to this person's place, and I want to, he's Jain. So my mom started cracking up. She's like, and this is I'm here. I'm non-vegetarian as of now. So she started cracking up. She's
That's
like, do you even know what you're about to have? I'm like, no. I'm like, it's going to be, of course, it's going to be a vegetarian food. So it's not only vegetarian,
It's Jain.
it's Jain. It's like there's no onion and no garlic. I'm like, what are you saying? I'm like, that's not
How
possible
is
for
it
you to
possible?
cook food without any kind of, at least so garlic I can agree, but onion के बिना तो खाना पक ही नहीं सकता.
Hmm.
खा तुमको पता चलेगा. When I went there was the first time I ever tasted
Hmm.
the Jain
Jain
food,
food.
Jain food, and I became a fan. So whenever we hang out together, he's one of my best friends, and whenever we hang out together,
Acha.
we don't have any
Interesting.
Jain. We don't have any food which is non-Jain.
Non-Jain.
We're always
Interesting.
eating Jain food, and
Hmm.
in fact, he's completely okay as well. So when we go out, he's like, "Yeah, you order your non-Jain food." I'm like, "No, let's order Jain only." And so हम लोग एक दूसरे के हाथ में से खाने में से हाथ मार सके and enjoy the
Yeah,
food together.
correct.
But that's when I came to the fact that I'm like, oh, it doesn't really matter
Hmm.
when you're cooking it correctly.
Hmm.
If you don't have the no onions or no garlic,
Hmm.
it doesn't really make much difference. It still
Yes,
tastes good.
like see, for us, we have been raised in a way that we've already eaten a lot of Jain meals.
Hmm.
So we know, yes, the non-Jain like onion, garlic, stuffed food will have a little edge, will have a little bit more flavor.
Hmm.
But eventually, how does it make you feel within
Within
after
you,
consumption? That you will come to know only once you have taken a break from those ingredients.
From those ingredients, correct.
One meal, yes, it will make you feel good, but then the second meal you'll be like, "Ha, chalo kha lete."
Chalega,
But then
हाँ, कर
naturally,
सकते हैं,
like
हाँ.
I'm not into this Jainism, right? So why should I skip it? But when you're out of it, then you will know कि आज मैंने 10 दिन के बाद में like कांदा पोहा खाया, right? For example,
हाँ.
you will know what's the difference. Like you won't have flavors lingering in your mouth.
Correct.
You won't have flavors coming back into your digestive system. You're clean. You've eaten. You've finished with water or whatever, and you're done for that meal. You don't have flavors dancing in your
Dancing in
system.
correct. The verbs are clear as well.
Yeah, and you feel good.
I agree.
Your mouth is like comfortable. You feel comfortable the way you move
food
around.
feels lighter. I
Food
agree
feels-
to it. I agree
yes,
to it.
yes.
So we follow a lot in terms of Brahma Kumaris as well, and I think ISKCON as well. We recently went.
Hmm.
So whenever we have food there, it's always no garlic, no onion.
no onion.
It's very sattvic food
Yes.
because it's made in such a way, and a lot of prayers are going into it, and all of those things. So I think it kind of takes you through that part.
Yes,
So
because a
it's
lot
okay.
of people will ask me that, oh, onion and garlic have been proven so much with researches that they are very good for health. Yes, onion has fructose oligosaccharides, very good for the digestive system. Garlic is very good for the heart. But at the same time, you have to also understand we are not going to look at a particular food only from one angle.
You have to weigh your
Look at
pros
it
and
from
cons.
all the angles. How does it make you feel? People will experience less amount of, so people who struggle with anger issues, they can actually cut down on the onion, garlic,
Okay.
reduce the spiciness. You will see a lot of difference in their nature and temperament.
Okay, fair enough. I can agree to that. Or we can talk otherwise as well, but it's okay. We'll stick to the part because I enjoy the food the way it is as well. coming towards, so now we had a conversation on the spirituality part and how it affects, and I agree to it because I know after I became a vegetarian, my intuitions went higher. I became more spiritually connected to my own religion as well. So a lot of things went that way. Recently, I've been following a lot manifestation, law of attraction, right? Especially when it comes to my how I look, how I feel. What is your thought process when it comes to food and manifestation or law of attraction to attracting a weight or a body style?
It works, you know. So I have been dealing with, I think I must have seen about 5,000 plus individuals across the globe with different mindsets. And I think in the first 2 sessions, I can make out whether this person will achieve or not achieve.
Okay.
It is completely about the intentions that they have laid down for themselves and the mindset that they come with. Okay, there are individuals who are so determined that whatever come the situation is, their daily routine is, they will stick to their plan, and they will be the ones who will take initiatives that, okay, I am eating this, tell me how we can balance it. So they are very, very structured and they
Their
want to achieve
intentions are
it.
very
Yes,
strong.
yes, yes. But in the same category, there are people who do this with a lot of stress, with a question mark. I want to achieve this weight, but I don't know whether I'll be able to
The
do
belief
it.
system is not there.
Is not there. They're just questioning the process constantly. They question me that, oh wow, you are advising us to eat carbs. I have been eating only salads and proteins and chicken and fish, and now you're telling me ki, come on, eat a roti also or eat some rice. And so they just question the whole process. So the trust is not there.
Correct.
The trust is not there on themselves first, in the process, and the trainer. So how are they going to achieve the goal? Once the person lays a complete trust in themselves that I will do it somehow, I will ensure that I will make it to that. I will ensure that I fix the issues wherever they are to get the end goal, and I will work it up with the trainer because I trust him or her. Then the whole thing is 100% achieved.
Correct.
So it is completely about mindset.
Okay, fair enough.
The people who come with a lot of fear, and when they are doing so, diet therapy is, why is it called as therapy? Why is nutrition called as therapy? It is not just diet. Generally people know about diet only, right? It is actually a therapy.
Correct.
There are tons and tons of diets on the internet. Why does somebody need to go to a dietitian to get therapy? How do I manage my struggles around certain foods in order to get it imbibed into my culture and then achieve the goal?
Correct.
So there is a lot of counseling needed. That is what a dietitian's job is.
Okay.
So her job is not to build in more fear around food. Her job is to build in more love for
Love
the right food.
Right, correct.
And then the goal is achieved.
How about your thought process of, so I'll tell you about me, right? So I have a vision board. Okay, I have a photo of a person, a guy who I want to look like. So I've literally found a person who looks in a body structure way. His head is down, so I cannot see who he is. But he has a nice packs and everything. I've got that, right? And I've got a weight that I have in mind. So when I have that weight, I look like that. Started following that process in vision board. And now, whenever I want to have that piece of cheesecake, because I'm a cheesecake fanatic, right? So recently this happened that I told Bhakti, I'm like, you know what? I'm craving cheesecake, let's order something. She's like, okay, it's been a while, let's do it. I ordered it. And I ordered one. Okay? So she was surprised. Like, how is that even possible? She's like, where's the other one? Did you keep it in the fridge for tomorrow? I'm like, no. It's
just one that we're going to
and
share.
You're going to have half, I'm going to have half. And she was like, really? She's like, how did you make that happen? Like, because again, you know, it's for me, cheesecake
It's a
is
weakness.
like, it's the weakness. So I told her that vision board that I have created with that picture, so it's got instilled into my thought process so highly that whenever I think of a food, I feel that this is a food and that's going to take me away from this one. So what do I do? And hence it makes me helps me make a right decision.
Yes, it does.
You know. So do you advise as a nutritionist for people to add how they want to look on their vision board?
Yes, in fact, just recently there is a mother of a 59-year-old lady approached to me. She was brought to me by her sons and husband. They all three were there on the call
Really?
just for that one lady,
Okay.
and she was very light in her approach. Like it didn't seem that she was very dedicated. I'm like, you really want to do it? Like, are you the one who made this decision? She was like, yes, I want to. And I couldn't see in her,
The actions were
personality.
speaking for
Yeah,
you.
she was very okay, kinds, laid back. So I said, okay, just let's understand that which is the heroine that you can think of your yesteryears that you want to look up to now. And she first laughed at it. And she was like, what nonsense is she asking me? But heroine ko kyun dekhu main? I was like, nay, she is of your age, but she is healthy. She is fitter. So then she realized that yes, it's a serious question. I need to answer this. And then they were like, she said Madhuri Dixit.
You know what? I was gonna say, did she say Madhuri Dixit?
She said Madhuri Dixit. And she's like, why do you say Madhuri Dixit? I was expecting actually she would say Rekha
Okay,
because her health is not even to that level.
correct. I agree.
So she was like, Madhuri, like, wow, yeah, she has high aspirations. And I was like, why? She's like, because she's also 59. And I was like, you know that? She's like, yeah, I'm a big fan of her. But हाँ वो तो अपने पे काम करती है ना इसलिए ऐसी. तो मैं बोली, you also do then. What's stopping you? Like, but then I'm not from that industry that I need to look like that. I'm like, we're not talking about looking. We are just looking at the fact that see how she is at the age of 59, healthy, and you are completely unhealthy right now. You have got so many health diseases. Why? Because you did not take care of yourself. So then she realized, yes, self care is so important.
Very important.
And then she set the bar a little higher for herself. She understood that yes, this is whatever the conversation is happening is important. It's not just the boys want me to do it. That's why I'll
हाँ,
pull
चलो
through
आगे
it.
जबरदस्ती.
हाँ, ऐसा नहीं. So it really puts the person across in perspective, in the right perspective, because if they don't have a goal, they don't know what to achieve. They're just shooting in the air कि हाँ ठीक है मुझे ये कम करना है, but क्यों कम करना है? First and foremost, the reason. Like there are so many diabetes patients. Like just now in the afternoon, I had a call from somebody who had pre-diabetes since 2 years, and I'm like, तो अभी क्यों आए हो? So it's like, no, now I started feeling the hit all the more. I could sense that my organs are not functioning properly in spite of having good sugar control since 2 years. I'm in the pre-diabetes range only. But I can see that I'm not the same anymore. So I need to fix this.
Correct.
So you have to have a goal and a purpose.
Correct. So that's what it works out, and works like a charm. I mean, it's helping me a lot.
Yes.
It's helping
And
me a lot.
it's perfect that when you look at that, when you think of that image, it works. So I asked them to put a display on their phone.
So, हाँ.
जैसे ही फोन खुलेगा वो फ्लैश होगा ऑफिस पे, अरे माधुरी दीक्षित दिख
you have
रही
to look like
है.
that.
Not your picture, माधुरी दीक्षित का फोटो आ रहा है, तो it's a reminder.
It's a reminder. I completely agree to this. I really do appreciate that as well, because mindset is very important, and I feel spirituality, manifestation, mindfulness is something which is, it's there. I'm not sure why people are not utilizing it. It's like because it makes your life much easier.
Much easier.
Rather than you're gonna be struggling of how to eat, what to eat. You can always have a way of attracting your health back to you.
And it's all about planning. Manifestation is a form of planning only.
Form of planning only. Huh?
You're planning something that you want to achieve, but you're putting in efforts to think about it positively. That yes, I'm going to achieve this. And then what are the action plans? Like you're just dreaming कि हाँ मेरे को वजन कम करना है, but आप उसके लिए कुछ कर नहीं रहे हो, तो वो manifest नहीं होने वाला.
नहीं होने वाला. हाँ नहीं वही है ना, यहाँ
Has
पर
to come with a
आप बंद
to-do
करके
list.
सोच रहे हो मैं माधुरी दीक्षित जैसी दिखूंगी.
हाँ.
And then on the other time you're hogging on cheesecake.
Yes,
you're hogging on.
There were puris and halwas.
So that does make a lot of sense, I want to bring this topic to the dairy part that you have recently spoke about, that how that is happening, because back in days we were having a lot of milk, but then there was one cow to maybe 5 or 6 people max. Now we're talking about one cow to maybe 50 people. We don't know. So what happens here is that, see, people who are non-vegetarians, they're already getting their proteins through chicken and whatever the other kind of form of meat that they're having. But when it comes to vegetarian, you know only I think the only thing you can rely on is paneer, right? So how does that work? Like, so I mean, you're asking now not to be consuming dairy. So how do you suffice that?
There are good alternatives out there. There is tofu. Although in India we don't consume that much tofu, people have some kind of aversions to it, especially nutritionally. They feel okay. If it's a male who wants to be a vegan, the first thought in his mind would be, oh, I will develop female hormones. I will develop estrogen. My estrogen levels will go high. That's not the case. You will not become
That's by having
feminine.
tofu. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying?
by
Oh,
soya,
really?
soya
But,
bean.
Okay.
If I consume soybean, I will become more feminine. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
ideology. Yes, that
Alright.
that floats around.
Why is that?
Because see, soybean has a component that is phytoestrogen.
Okay.
It is very different from female estrogen.
Hmm.
So people who do not have complete information, they feel that, oh my god, I'm going to consume estrogen.
Hmm.
So because in males it is supposed to be high testosterone levels, not estrogen levels, right? So they feel that they fear the whole fact that their testosterone levels will go down and estrogen will come up,
Okay.
and they'll become more feminine.
Hmm.
That's not the case.
They start
So we
liking
have
guys.
to, yeah, they'll start liking eyes. They'll start having man boobs. That's also another myth.
That is okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the myths. That's the reason why in India many, even females, they don't want to consume soybean
So it is okay.
because they feel that it will disrupt their monthly cycle.
Okay.
Another reason why that they feel that cannot take it, they just don't like the taste
Okay.
and who will make it and all that. But nowadays,
how
who's
is it
making
made
it?
anyways? Like, what is tofu or soybeans made out of?
It's the same thing. Soybean is made out of soya bean.
Okay.
Soya milk is made out of soya beans,
Okay.
which is soaked overnight, pressure cooked, and ground.
Okay.
And then you squeeze out the milk, how you would do with for
Paneer,
coconut milk and all
okay,
that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that milk with which is made out of the beans, when it is curdled
Hmm.
with lemon juice,
Hmm.
it becomes like a paneer.
Okay.
So soya paneer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now it is packed with nutrition.
Okay.
It has amazing levels of phytoestrogens, antioxidants, has fiber also. This milk doesn't have fiber.
Okay.
Animal milk does not have fiber. Soy milk has fiber also.
Okay.
It has very good levels of calcium. It's one of the best proteins for vegetarians.
Hmm.
Vegetarians, plant-based ones, whoever. Even non-vegetarians can consume this.
Okay.
So there is no harm at all with soybean.
Okay.
Yes. Now what happens is, because we were talking about these Herbalife and all,
Correct.
that is completely soya-based product. Herbalife is soya powder,
Okay. So is it like Herbalife is completely vegan? Is that what it's saying?
not vegan. It
Not
has
vegan. It
milk powder.
It has milk powder. As
Lot
well,
of
right?
milk
Okay.
powder. It's a cheaper.
So it's just this
an
one of these
expensive.
things that you're talking about has soya.
Yes, it's an expensive form of putting up protein and milk powder. So what happens there's a lot of, so these people are consuming day in day out of soya protein,
Hmm.
and it disrupts hormones.
Hmm.
Here we are consuming in controlled amounts. Like you can't consume soybean ki dal every day,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Somebody will consume tofu, okay, every third day, fourth day.
Hmm.
If you want to consume tofu on a daily basis as a vegan, you can.
Hmm.
But at the same time, if you have hypothyroidism, then cut it down to once in 3 days or once in 4 days.
Okay.
Then it's a limit. Then you have to go a little bigger on nuts, nut milk,
Hmm.
dals, beans, other forms of proteins. But you cannot 100% depend on tofu or soybean.
Okay.
So in India we have soya chunks.
Hmm.
Cutlets are made out of it.
Correct. Yeah.
So you can go big on soybean. Again, if you have thyroid, that is something that you have to take into consideration while going big on it. If you don't have it, then you go ahead.
Correct. I think in fact soya chunks it's a great alternative for a lot of people who like lamb kebabs and all. In fact, Bhakti
Gives
makes
that
them.
similar. Huh.
So the other day I was craving because I was a big
Hmm.
non-vegetarian. So I told Bhakti that you know what, I'm craving them so badly and I want to taste them. And she's like, okay. So she kind of did her research and she made exactly the same thing. I did not even feel the difference that if I was not having a lamb kebab and I was actually having a soya kebab.
Yes.
Tastes the same.
Yeah, they're chewy and like you would know that better because I have never tasted the non-vegetarian
I
stuff.
could not. If you would not, if she would not have told me that this is not So this is lamb. I would have agreed.
Oh, okay.
It was that similar. You know, so I think if people are really looking forward for that, they can definitely try that
Yes,
alternative.
yes.
And if they're missing the non-veg food like I do,
Hmm.
that's a great alternative that they can go for.
Yes.
You know, but again, you know, when it comes to tofu and paneer, do they hold the same amount of protein?
In fact, tofu would have definitely a little extra carbs than the
Okay.
paneer
Okay.
because it's a grain.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it has fiber.
Okay.
That
So
one
it's
doesn't
balancing
have
it
it.
out.
Yeah, the protein is more or less similar, 6 to 7 grams in 100 grams or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is more or less similar.
Okay.
But yes, you have an addition of
Fiber
lot of
added to it.
nutrients,
Mhm.
lot of nutrients in soya milk.
Okay. How about someone who really enjoys a cup of tea like I do? When of course, you know, milk is the most important ingredient when I'm going to enjoy a
Hmm.
nice masala tea for myself. How do you replace that?
So try oat milk
Okay.
for to make that switch. Try oat milk. Again, you can make it very easily at home. Buy quick oats. Soak it for some time and grind it. Like
Okay.
just 30 minutes. Soak it, 1 cupful. Soak it. You will get a liter of milk,
Oh.
and it will last for, if suppose you're just doing it for one person, it will last for good a week.
Okay.
So you just have to soak it, grind it, and then strain it off if you want. But if you grind it really fine, it is slightly thick milk,
Okay.
and you can consume it and
Okay.
use it for your teas, coffees. Actually, cold coffees, teas turn out to be very good with oat milk because it doesn't have any taste.
Okay.
Soy milk can be a little strong on the taste, and the person may not like it. Rice milk is very good. So if you go
But
to
does
see,
it still, like, you have had chai, right? The regular chai. So does it still stays the same?
with peanut milk, yes, not with soy milk, not with almond milk. It's very thin with almond milk. I personally choose almond milk every day, and I don't even buy the almond milk. I just
You make
make it at home.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, there is a slight compromise that you will have to do on flavors when you're
Okay.
choosing these milks.
Okay.
But if you're consuming oat milk, you will enjoy it.
becomes the same.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you said that you make almond milk. Enlighten me. How do you do that?
So I don't go by the recipes that are floating on the internet.
Okay.
Okay, a typical recipe of almond milk will call for soaking the almonds overnight. Next morning you grind it, make a fine paste out of it, and then you strain it.
Okay.
So once you strain, the fiber is out. That is almond meal. The chunk is called as almond meal, and this is milk. So you're using water to get the extractions out. Now this meal, then people are using to either roll it in the roti atta or do something with it. I have cut down this step of straining.
Okay.
I just make it into a fine paste and prepare, say, about a week or a 2 weeks batch, and put it in the fridge. Again, it's a larger batch that we are making at a time. Then we divide it into 3 to 4 boxes because it has a tendency to spoil.
Okay.
Okay. Because there is water used.
Correct.
So then it will spoil sooner. The more the water, it will spoil faster. Again, in summer season, it will spoil faster. So you have to be very conscious that, okay, you removed it, you remove the chunk, and then you have to keep it back. Now I'm going to use this paste to make my teas, coffees, smoothies, whatever.
Okay.
So I make the kali chai, the black tea water
And you take the
with whatever
paste
masala. Yeah, I mix it.
Okay.
Same thing for coffee.
Okay.
And if it is a cold coffee, blend it. So it turns out to be fantastic, at least for me.
You enjoy it.
I enjoy it. And whenever I go to for any networking meetings, I actually call for special milk for myself.
Really? And they give it to you?
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow.
They do. Very few people know that we can create that space for ourselves. But
of course.
मांगोगे नहीं तो मिलेगा नहीं.
मिलेगा नहीं. I guess the store है वो तो दुनिया का, absolutely. I
Yes.
completely agree to it. Okay, great. I appreciate a wonderful session that we had for our lifestyle and veganism, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. I'm yet not ready to convert myself to veganism yet, but let's see. You never know.
There is a famous quote by I don't remember the name of the person. To conclude, the food you choose to eat can either be the safest form of medicine or the slowest form of poison.
Beautiful. I've heard that. Yes, absolutely. I'm truly enjoying the conversation with you. I hope you're enjoying the conversation
Yes,
today as well.
yes, yes. It's fun.
Fun, right? When it comes to nutrition, health, right? I think the most common thing a lot of women are facing right now is PCOS. Right? I think if you find and you speak to so many girls, they'll always have this thought process, I have PCOS. Why has it so become common in so many women now?
So, what I've understood is, with my experience, that it is now becoming more of a lifestyle disorder. It's a hormonal imbalance created by lifestyle habits,
Okay.
like inflammatory life, kind of. So, a trend that is observed when they come for the first session and I'm checking upon their food. So, I've realized that the females are quite big on sugar
Okay.
and primarily chocolates.
Mm.
So this is something that I've observed, that they end up loving a lot of chocolates and they consume it. Second item is cold coffee.
Mm.
So cold coffee is something that PCOS women have shown to be consuming a lot. Third is they're big on junk food,
Okay.
and it is onsetting. PCOS is onsetting nowadays as young as at puberty itself.
Mm.
Like the girls may not start their menses at all. They've already achieved menarche, but they are not onsetting with their monthly cycles.
Mm.
Or it may appear for the first few months, and then it has disappeared, or it has become very irregular. Like
Correct.
it's not happening every month.
Mm.
So it could be out of stress, exam stress. So that is the time also around 10 standard they tend to have this. Or secondly, it could be simply because they have been eating a lot of junk, which is the key.
Okay.
Now, what happens is it is more to do with insulin resistance.
Mm.
So, when we are eating a lot of junk food, a lot of carbohydrate food, like coming from the sugar, right? Juices and all that, pastas, noodles. So,
Mm.
it is observed that this is all high in these individuals.
Mm.
And when they consume so much of it, they are building insulin resistance in their body.
Mm.
That means there is a slight additional of fat, so there is extra fat around their pelvic area.
Okay.
The organ, the area which supports the female hormones and the organs like ovaries and all that are in that area.
Mm.
So there is a fat layer covered on these organs,
Okay.
which prevents the insulin to take up the glucose.
Mm.
It's a very similar pathway to diabetes.
Okay.
Yeah, so even diabetes, type 2 diabetes is dependent on insulin resistance. Same thing happens in PCOS.
Okay.
So doctors will advise these girls to consume metformin, which is a component to reduce insulin resistance.
Okay.
It may work for some time because it helps to cut down on the weight and stuff like that. But eventually the core problem, if it is not taken care of with respect to food,
Mm.
it still remains. And we have seen girls completely getting rid of PCOS with the diet and lifestyle
So
modifications.
it's possible to completely get rid of it.
Yes. In fact, one of my first clients, just by myself in my clinic, was a PCOS girl.
Mm.
She was at the age of 15, got to me by her mother,
Mm.
and she had just this thick file of endocrinologists. With this thick file already, she
At
was
age of 15.
15. She
Okay.
was already going through all this since 13 years of age, do saal se.
Mm.
And she, with her follow-ups and everything, and the mother gave me such thick file to go through. I'm like, wow, kahan se kya padho?
Yeah, I know.
So I was like, oh, I'll just read the first few things. And I realized that, okay, and when I started taking her diet recall, it was very obvious that this is all diet and lifestyle induced. Very heavy on junk food and stuff like that. No activity, lot of acne.
Mm.
And she cleared up her stuff, her hormones, everything within 6 months.
Mm.
She had already started losing weight. Of course, she was heavy on the weight, but not all PCOS girls have
Mm.
heaviness on the weight.
Yeah,
They're not
correct.
high on the weight.
Mm.
They can be thin girls, very thin girls who, looking at them, you can't make out that they have PCOS, but they
Correct.
do have
They
it.
do have it. Okay.
Yes, so it is not 100% only weight related. It is more about insulin resistance.
Mm.
And somebody who may be consuming a lot of junk
Mm.
or has a lot of stress with respect to exams or anything lifespan based,
Right.
and they would end up in this.
Mm.
So yes, diet plays a key role in managing PCOS.
Okay.
And if you think it is something to be dealt only with the pills, not really.
Not really.
We have
diet can
had
change,
yes,
yeah.
we've had very good results with diet and lifestyle on PCOS.
So what if someone is going through this certain PCOS symptoms and all, what kind of diet can they go for? Let's say, for example, if somebody is not able to afford a nutritionist, they're not sure if they can find the right one, or they're not comfortable with one. Can you give them some kind of diet which can be involved into their daily lives, which will kind of help them either lower it or get rid of it?
So first and foremost, they have to understand that use good hormones to support your hormones.
Okay.
So that is the first thing. That means you cannot be dependent on dairy,
Okay.
those hormones that are in the dairy to support your hormones. And it has been observed that they are big on dairy
Okay.
in general. So if you want to consume dairy to match your protein intake or whatever the reason be very specific of the quality. Go for non-hormone milk,
Okay. Okay.
don't compromise on it. It's better to invest a little bit more on the ingredients than on the pills and run around the doctors and spend your money there. Because yes, you're very right that people may not choose to go to a dietitian for PCOS because they feel that, okay, I'm getting it managed by the doctor. Where does the dietitian come into play? But actually, primarily, you should go to a dietitian. Get your diet cleared, clean, and then if still that thing remains, you're not still experiencing monthly cycles, which is very, it could be a vague, it would be unfair if the person is eating clean, being active, doing everything that is needed, and still not getting their menses. Very, very little probabilities are there. But if one is fixing all this, definitely their chances of spending so much money around the doctor's sessions will go down. So it is better to save your money, use it in the right place. So for the diet, one needs to ensure that the PCOS diet has to be filled with a lot of berries. Okay. You have to control the fruit intake. Insulin resistance, right? So you have to ensure that it's just 1 to 2 servings of fruits per day, low glycemic index fruits. So very similar to diabetes diet.
Okay.
If I were to put it in a nutshell, that the guidelines are similar to diabetes diet, but here because we are dealing with females specifically, the PCOS is a problem of females. Okay. Now in this, what hurdles come in are the monthly cycles.
Correct.
Now they are not happening, but the body is experiencing those changes. They are going through mood swings. They are going to experience a lot of cravings of sweets and chocolates. How does one deal with that? You got to manage your cravings. You know that this is going to happen. Then stock on good quality chocolates. Okay. Make sure that the protein is in place, because if protein is in good amount and the fats are in good amount, in the right way, like I had mentioned earlier, use nuts, avocado, olive oil, little ghee in your diet to support your hormones, but not go big on dairy in the name of protein. Don't consume whey protein to support your PCOS.
Okay. Exactly.
So if you want to manage your PCOS, make sure that whey protein is not consumed. Instead, you can choose, if you really need to take protein powders, then go for plant protein. Okay, because those are the ones which has those phytoestrogens. It has a lot of antioxidants, a lot of fiber, which will help to clear off your hormonal imbalance. So this is extremely important. And another thing is exercise. Don't miss out on at least 3 times a week some kind of activity, because when you're active, you're actually deleting the idea of PCOS in your system thriving.
So like daily exercise is really
Yes,
important.
because it helps to reduce the body fat percentage.
Okay.
So PCOS women will also show higher levels of body fat percentage.
Okay.
So we need to bring it down.
Okay. So this is in nutshell, if they follow the proper diet, cut down
Fiber,
on dairy,
protein,
higher,
yes.
higher protein and fiber,
And junk food.
and junk food is off, and of course their working out will be there. I guess stress management will be a very important
factor. Yes.
So this is kind of a way to completely get rid of that. But is it like once you get rid of it, is it possible for it to come back?
Yes, definitely. You leave everything. You think that, okay, I'm cured now, and I go back to my old habits of being sedentary and eating all sorts of junk food. Again, it is going to come back.
Can acidity a big part of having PCOS as well?
See, acidity or any kind of health issues that just start stemming in one's system, it is all about inflammation. So if you're consuming inflammatory foods, it is going to create acidity, it is going to create PCOS, diabetes, all sorts of health problems.
Okay.
So you have to cut down on inflammation. Now, a very important thing is, when we are looking at inflammation, this is one concept that people need to know more, which is not talked about much. We all know that we have DNAs and cells. Now, what happens is, when we are into faulty practices of lifestyle and diet, we are cutting short the size of the DNA, that is the telomere.
Okay.
So telomere is a concept about the DNA size, length. Now, if we are cutting short of DNA, the telomere length, we are actually creating inflammation in our body. We are causing aging in our system. Okay, any kind of disease in our system is a sign of aging.
Okay.
So what we have to do is, we have to make sure that with our foods, with the choices of managing stress and exercise, we are keeping intact the telomere length.
Okay.
And that's how inflammation is kind of less in our systems, and we are choosing right foods. Very importantly, I should stress also upon the fact about fats. Like I said, we have to work on good fats, good fats coming through olive oil. If you have to choose to consume groundnut oil, it should be cold pressed. It should not be refined oils, because these refined oils are inflammatory in nature.
Okay.
Again, they will lead to PCOS. They will cause acidity. So I would suggest that you don't go ahead with anything which is inflammatory in nature. So too spicy, too junk, and low quality of oils is something that we have to keep away.
Okay. Inflammatory is something which is going to cause
Inflammation, yes.
And then I'm talking about, and of course, inflammation we're talking about in terms of our intestines, and mostly which part of inflammation really affects you at this point of time?
See, it is the inflammation of the cells and primarily insulin resistance.
Okay. Right.
So if PCOS has come into play, that means insulin resistance has come
Has come into play.
it's come in.
Okay.
And it is a lifelong thing. A PCOS female is very prone to gestational diabetes. That means diabetes during pregnancy. Now, diabetes during pregnancy goes off naturally once the person has delivered. But there are chances of that female to develop diabetes in the future
Okay.
very high.
Okay.
So it can be PCOS plus diabetes. So PCOS will not go away if you don't structure or discipline your life. It will remain. It will keep coming back.
Okay.
And
You
maybe
have
in
to
a
be very
louder
careful.
version of diabetes and all that.
Okay, so you have to be very careful at this point of time. You know, earlier you said that if you're looking for a protein, so don't go for whey protein, go for plant protein. So what is plant protein? Like, how is that different than whey protein?
Plant protein is purely derived from grains and plants. Okay, it is not using any form of animals to get that protein bit, and animal sources. Like, we definitely, whey protein is not an animal, but it has an animal source of milk. So plant protein is going to use mostly rice milk, rice powder, because it is a good quality protein. It is also going to use pea protein, okay, the watana. That protein is used. It is again germinated, made it in a way that it is easy on the stomach. So that is used to up the protein powder's nutrition content. Then also a lot of soy protein, all these. So it's a blend of different ingredients. And generally, plant proteins always have some kind of probiotics with them to be easy on the gut, which you will not find with whey protein, because whey protein by itself is so expensive. If all these ingredients are added, it will be like shooting high, the prices.
Correct.
So hence, plant protein is easier on the digestive system. The biggest problem that comes with plant protein is the taste. People are not very comfortable with the taste at times. So in that case, then for plant protein, they can have add-ons. Like, you can, like, if you just pick up a plain protein powder, you can put cocoa powder. And use a little sweetener to flavor up your protein powder based shakes and smoothies. So yeah, there are alternatives, and plus there are multiples of brands nowadays which are providing good tasty stuff. Yeah, so there are much good brands. There is this Cosmix, Whole Earth, many brands out there which you can pick up, which are plant protein based and fantastic flavors.
So now, when earlier, because we spoke about how protein, you should not go for whey protein, Was it only because of the factor of the hormones that you should avoid it, or is it okay to take plant protein as much as you want as well? How does that work? So some people may not, digest or have, proper digestion. What I'm trying to find is have a connection between them, right? For example, how we spoke about whey protein may give you weight again. Does that exactly happen? Same thing with plant protein too?
Plant protein, it can be a little difficult to digest.
Plant protein.
It
Okay.
can be. It
Okay.
may be. It may not be always,
Hmm.
but it may be. Depends on that person's gut health.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Because it is coming with a lot of fiber also. It is
Hmm.
coming with protein which is made out of beans.
Hmm.
So it can be a little gassy at times.
Okay.
So maybe you can look for references from your friends who have used it, and
Hmm.
then you figure out whether you like the taste. Was it good on your tummy?
Hmm.
Did it give you a discomfort? And if they say no and nothing like that, then you can go ahead with the same brand.
Okay. But if you have a bad gut, then that is that something
Then
you should go for?
you will look for protein powder which is having probiotics
Okay.
and digestive enzymes. So there are also plant proteins which have digestive enzymes in
Okay.
them.
Okay.
Papain, bromelain. These are the enzymes which are already there in papaya and pineapple.
Okay.
So they are already blended in their plant protein
Mhm.
composition to make it digestible.
Okay.
And when you read the ingredients of whey protein and plant protein, you will be surprised that plant protein is so well and clearly labeled. It is 6 to 7 ingredients.
Okay.
And these have about 20 ingredients, half of them which you don't understand.
Okay.
And the best ones are coming from foreign place. The
Mhm.
Indian brands are not still, well promoted, because there are certain brands like Gold Standard Whey Protein. Now it's coming through ages.
Hmm.
Like when I was studying, so 3 decades back. So 2 decades, 3 decades back, it has been marketed so well by Gold's Gym. The leader in gym across the globe.
Correct.
So when such huge brands are favoring such products, and it's their product actually, so then it's very difficult to beat that market.
Okay.
So hence, you will find it that these products are labeled with a lot of ingredients which you will not understand, because their shelf life is kept very high,
Okay.
and they're coming from foreign land, so they have to go through that processing
Processing. Yeah. of course,
add-ons.
of course. Correct.
which as a consumer people tend to neglect. They're like, "Nee, whey protein khana hai." I've heard that, okay, the trainer has advised, my friend is also taking, he's bulking up, or I just want to keep up with my nutrition. So yes, you have to keep it up, but whey protein has to be controlled.
Control. Okay. So nevertheless, you still have to take a professional advice if you're thinking of it,
Yes.
and not in excessive way. Don't go crazy on it, and you don't have to take it only if you want to and if you are advised to.
Yes, because whey is present in the paneer ka pani.
Hmm.
You make paneer at home and you get that water. उसमें चौंक लगा के तो पहले ट्रेडिशनली पीते ही थे.
Okay.
Like when you keep the buttermilk and the it settles, the thick part, the casein settles, the water is all whey.
Okay.
Now, are we comfortable drinking it? No, we don't like that watery thing, right? We want to have the chars being uniform all throughout. But yes, paneer water is nothing but whey.
Okay.
It's a cheaper version, something that you can do every day.
Very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
so don't throw it. Use it in your soups, rotis, dals. It ups the flavor.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for giving your wonderful time to us.
Thank you.
And sharing your amazing knowledge, so many recipes with our viewers and for me. I'm very grateful that you have taken your time out today. There was a lot of fun conversation, a lot of topics were covered, hence a lot of left as well. Maybe we can cover up the next one.
Yes.
For you guys, I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's podcast. We have done a lot of research, especially for today's episode, because nutrition, dietitians, it's something which is very important for you and your life. Rightly, Ujjwala said that either it can solve it or it can multiply it. Now, the thing is, the choice is yours. Do you want to be mindful about it? Do you want to be healthy? Or do you want to spend all the money which you can spend on a good travel, spending it in the hospital? Choice is completely yours. I hope that you have enjoyed today's podcast. You were watching Kabir Wani. Share this with your friends and family, especially who you think would like to hear this. And I appreciate you guys have stayed all the way till the end. If you like to hear our podcast, we are available on Amazon Prime, Amazon Music. We're on Saavn, GeoChat. We're also on Ghana. Wherever you like to hear, we are available. You can find us on at Kabirwani Podcast on YouTube, at Kabirwani Podcast on Instagram, and on Facebook. We are available everywhere and anywhere digital goes. I'll see you till next time.